Delving into the history of your family can be a captivating journey that not only unveils your roots, but also provides a vivid picture of life in bygone eras. To write an engaging family history story, it's crucial to understand the historical context that shaped your ancestors' lives. In this video, I'll share various methods and resources to help you gain insights into life during perhaps the Massachusetts Bay Colony era. We'll talk about where you can find information about marriage customs, childbirth practices, hygiene norms, and the lives of fishermen and mariners in colonial America. This can be applied to any similar topic. Howdy, welcome to Write Your Family History. I'm Devin Noel Lee, and I love sharing you tips and tricks on how to quickly write your family history and make it non-boring. The first place you want to look is for social history repositories. Where do historians go to learn about the social history of the time period in which they're investigating? The first place is libraries and archives. Local libraries, historical societies, and university archives are treasure troves of primary sources. These include diaries, letters, wills, and legal documents that offer first-hand accounts of life in colonial America. If you want to know about marriage practices, childbirth practices, hygiene norms, the lives of fishermen and mariners, you would do well to look at those original sources written by the people who lived them. Check for relevant historical records, newspapers, and publications that shed light on the specific topics you're researching. And you know I love newspapers. So, what is being advertised? What tonics are being offered as solutions for various health practices? What new invention is being marketed to make life a little bit easier for any industry in which somebody lives? And the editorials and letters to the editor can tell you a lot about life in a specific town. Be sure to check those out. Also, think of Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens wrote his stories and had them published in newspapers long before they were ever turned into books. He's not the only one who did this. So look for the stories that are published, and these fictional stories have setting and they have topics that might be interesting to you, and you can leverage those into your stories. It might take a little digging to find those, and the older the newspaper, the more likely that you will find these fictional stories in the newspapers. But see if you can find them and then come back and tell me how successful you were. Not everybody can visit a library or university special collection in person. So an alternative is to research online archives and databases. Websites like the Library of Congress, the National Archives, and state historical societies often provide digital collections. And every year, more and more digital collections are coming online for our benefit. Yay! Also search the Internet Archive and Hathi Trust for not only text, but also audio resources. Use search terms like Massachusetts Bay Colony life, colonial American marriage customs, or colonial birth practices to uncover valuable resources. Now, as a YouTuber with 2 channels, you know I'm going to recommend YouTube channels, but there are also online websites and podcasts that can help you uncover social history. Now, many history-related content is available in all of those forums, and some I probably haven't even thought of. Here's a sampling of content focused on life in colonial America. Now, the link to all of these references will be on the Family History Fanatics website in the blog that's linked in the description box. So the first step is ushistory.org. Here is a section on the New England colonies and what Puritan life was like. There is a section where this author or group of authors wrote the following. The Massachusetts Bay Colony was a man's world. Women did not participate in town meetings and were excluded from decision-making in the church. ministers further male supremacy in their writings and sermons. Is that historically accurate? Is that someone's bias? It's going to be up to you to choose multiple different topics to see if that summary of the worldview or life in that area leads to that conclusion. So be careful what you take out of these sources. Take what people say and then look for further information to see if this actual opinion statement is true. Now, here's one you probably hadn't thought of. This is study.com. So what is being taught to youth or anyone who is in academic pursuits? Study.com gives you facts and details and study information in order to be successful in school. So it is a starting point to understand life in the colony, and maybe some of the information they have provided will trigger research topics. So don't overlook these cheats or these helps for those who are trying to obtain their education. They really can make a huge difference. There are a number of bloggers online that have specific interest or expertise in particular areas. So go ahead and take advantage of the blogs. Always see if you can find out the source of the information they're putting out or resources they would share so you can dig deeper and then maybe go to what we said earlier, those first-hand accounts, the diaries, the letters, and so forth. This is the history of Massachusetts.org. This is an organization focused on capturing, preserving, and sharing the history of Massachusetts. Kind of interesting. This is the Gilder Lehrman Institute. This is a nonprofit organization focused on teaching K through 12 individuals American history. So they have some good resources and something you might not have thought to seek out. But a Google search on early colonial history actually brought this up for me. Seeking out academic and scholarly articles and journals is definitely a place to turn your attention when you're trying to find social history. This is on Gutenberg.org and is a book that was published in 1935 about the everyday life in Massachusetts Bay Colony. So, lots of great ideas. This is just another one of them. As I said before, YouTube is very helpful. This is from NBC News, and it's a documentary on Massachusetts Bay. Here's another video. It is a test prep video from the Mom-Metrics Academy. So what do academics and scholars want their students to know before they take a test about American history? This is a fun YouTube channel called Original History, and they have fun videos like the most nasty hygiene practices in colonial America. Always check their descriptions. Here says more to see if they have sources provided here. They may and they may not, but always check that description to see if you can find out what's the source of their information, because you don't want to be propagating falsehoods. Another one about hygiene is from the Weird History channel. These are kind of fun too. Again, check the description. And then there are podcasts. Now, some podcasts are going to be in your podcast players, and some are going to be from various websites. Ben Franklin's World is one that I found on a website, and Colonial Williamsburg Past and Present Podcast, I found that on a website. So this is definitely colonial era. They have a number of different topics worth exploring. Whew, that was a crazy rundown, but I hope you get a sense of just all the variety of resources that you can leverage to maybe get your mind started thinking of what do I need to research further, and then I go find sources to back up the claims that were presented in these various digital, visual, audio formats, and then you can make your social history more exciting for the stories that you write. So be sure to surround yourself with great content, and your stories are going to benefit. Now, I did mention during that rundown of sources books and academic journals. So let's talk about that a little bit more. Academic works can provide in-depth analysis and insight into various aspects of colonial life. Look for well-researched publications by historians specializing in the colonial area. Google Scholar, JSTOR, Project Muse, and Percy are great resources for finding this content. But what's also great about these scholarly articles is they often have source citations that can get you into some of that firsthand account that you can then leverage for your story writing. This next one, I'm not sure that you have thought of before, but having interacted with historical reenactment groups, I have learned a lot. And they are a great resource to take you into more knowledge because they did the research in order to reenact the scenes and the peoples in which they're trying to portray. So engage with historical reenactment groups or living history museums that recreate colonial life or whatever topic you're researching. Interact with the participants in the events because they can give you hands-on experience of daily routines, customs, and practices. They might also share with you the sources they use to understand the characters that they're portraying. Now, sometimes you have to step onto the land to understand certain insight. For instance, when we visited the windmills in Holland, I was shocked as I stepped inside these structures. For one, I hadn't realized people lived in them. I know that's kind of weird, but it's just not a thought that crossed my mind. I just thought they were places where people were. Next, I learned how cramped these windmills were and how creative a family with 13 children became in finding places to sleep, storing housewares, and so much more. I also discovered how loud the windmills were and how dangerous the blade spinnings were on a windy day. Sometimes you have to see it to understand it. Do you like visiting museums and seeing various collections? I sure do. Visit museum collections with colonial era exhibits, as they often showcase artifacts, tools, and clothing from that time. Museums can provide visual aids that bring the past to life to help you accurately describe the period in your writing. For instance, when I visited the Bunker Museum in Denmark, I was blown away by all the historical context available on display. And don't forget to talk to the tour guides. If they are available, they can tell you so much that will open your mind to the past that you're trying to write about. There's one more resource that is overlooked, and it is historical fiction and nonfiction books. Both sets of books can offer immersive experiences, nuanced perspectives on daily life, culture, and traditions. Sometimes experiencing the past through the skills of a talented writer is eye-opening. However, read different styles of literature and different styles of historical fiction authors because their bias and worldview can come into the mix, and you want to get a sense of both perspectives so that it can make you get a better sense of what life was like so that you don't pigeon yourself into myopic perspectives and perpetuate false stereotypes. Now, as a writer delving into the past, you have many resources at your disposal to uncover the historical context of your family history story. Again, libraries and archives to online databases, living history experiences, and more can help you bring a unique perspective to your research and forge a connection between your readers and their forebearers. By utilizing a combination of offline and online resources, you can paint an accurate and vivid picture of life during whatever time period you're researching. Massachusetts Bay Colony, Denmark Cold War area periods, or anything that you can think of. Share your experiences and your resources and what you found to help you write the social history of your ancestors. And then on the way out, make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. For more tips and tricks on how to continue writing non-boring family histories, be sure to check the videos suggested above.